What's up, guys? UFC Fight Night Emmett versus Vallejos is this weekend, and I am here to bring you my picks, predictions, betting breakdown on the entire card from very bottom all the way up to the top. We will start with the early prelims, end with the main event, but first, I want to give you guys a way to interact with the channel, make some money on the channel. I have a competition every time there is a numbered event where you guys can make picks like we're about to do here on Tapology, which is a free to create account, and you don't have to pay anything to do any of this. All you have to do is create a Tapology account and have a CashApp account. I send you money through CashApp, and it all takes place here on Tapology. So if you take a look at here at UFC 326, Jams Bunk won. So had that not been one of my good friends who doesn't, ask me to send him money, then I would have had to send him money. I don't have to send him money though. I do still owe Pac-Man 77 here $200 though. So that'll be coming once I am back on my feet good again. Anyways, so all you guys have to do is join the Tapology link down in, or create a Tapology account and join the link, join the group and the link in the YouTube channel. Also, it is tapology.com/groups/2048 if you want to join it. The group name is Haw Man We Gonna Have a Day. Anyways, let's move on to the fight picks. And I'm sure we have a solid card. It's actually not the worst, although we're opening up with a women's fight. So, there's that. Anyways, opening in the very first fight of the night, we have Sam Hughes versus Piera Rodriguez. Let's just go ahead and open this up. All right, we've got Piera Rodriguez here, I guess. Probably a tough fight for her, but we're going to be picking by decision. Next, we move on to Elijah Smith versus Su Young Yu. And with that, we are moving to the bantamweight division. We've got Elijah Smith, a guy coming off of a slam KO and then decision victories, versus Su Young Yu, who is coming off a victory over the great Long Zhao, who just who just lost to Cody Garbrandt this weekend in spectacular fashion, if you will. He's beaten AJ Cunningham and this guy. I am going to be picking Elijah Smith by decision. I think this is a pretty solid pick here. He's gone up against some decent competition, and I think he's gone against the better of the two, competition-wise. Moving on to Bia Mesquita versus Monst Radon. We'll be going with Bia Mesquita by submission this time. I'll be picking round 1 or 2 submission. I think we're going to go with round 1. She tends to look for submissions based on what I've seen. But yeah, anyways, Luan Lacerda versus Hecher Souza. We have a Contender Series guy versus a guy who has competed at UFC level. He was able to defeat Simon Oliveira. Tough fight. People are going with Sosa here. I think I'm going to go with Luan Lacerda. It might be an odd pick here, but I think he's fought the better guys. Sure, his record's not as good, but, I mean... He's fought in Taporia's promotion. He's from Spain. I'm going to pick Luan Lacerda, and I'm going to pick him by submission. Round 2. There is a high possibility he gets the job done here. He has fought higher level competition, only losing to Blackshear and Cody Stamen. Those are 2 decent dudes to have lost to in the division. It's not the worst losses you could have. And he's fighting a guy on a Contender Series debut. That's just how I have to look at that. We get Balaji Aki versus Manel Sosa in the next fight. We've got a Contender Series guy who has fought in Bellator, it looks like. Decision kind of fighter. Versus Balaji Aki, who has only lost to Chris Duncan and Mason Jones. I'm going Balaji Aki here. I might be wrong to be doing so. And it looks like I definitely am, based on both odds and Tapology's pick rate. But I don't know, man. I just... I guess I'll pick Manel Sosa to win by KO. I could see the Contender Series fraud check that I just kind of talked about happening in this fight happening in this one as well. But I'm going to pick Manel Sosa to come out and win a round 1 KO. He was pretty aggressive in his Contender Series fight. He's taken 6 months of time to get ready for his UFC debut. You would hope he's been preparing the entire time and then got the call for Aji and then prepared specifically for him. So, or Aki. Balaji Aki. Next, we move to the welterweight division. We have Chris Curtis versus Miktabek Orobai. Man. Well, the question is, what is Chris Curtis going to lose by? Decision or submission? I'm going to pick Miktabek. I'm going with decision. I could see a submission here, though. Just as a heads up. I think Miktabek's grappling will be too much. I think his striking's not the worst. He does pack a fucking wallop, apparently. And he was able to beat the dude that's on Uros Medic. He was able to beat him at welterweight. I would imagine he beats Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis coming on 38 years of... Like, he's almost 39 at this point. Miktabek just turned 28 million years old. Don't forget it. This man is a caveman frozen from time, like from the prehistoric era. So don't forget about this man having literal millions of years of advantage on Chris Curtis. While he was frozen in time, he was getting to think and dissect his entire game for millions of years. So I don't see Miktabek losing to Chris Curtis, so I'm going to pick him by decision. Next, we move to Eric Anders versus Brad Tavares. Chris Curtis coming off... Eric Anders coming off a loss to Christian Leroy Duncan, and Chris Weidman he defeated, and then he beat Jamie Pickett before that, the great Jamie Pickett, who Bo Nickel struggled to take down, except for when you need him in the balls. Lost to Marc-Andre Barriault. But then we've got Brad Tavares, who just lost to Robert Brychek by KO, beat Gerald Mearshart. I mean, that's a win. And lost to both Jung Young Park and Gregory Rodriguez. This is honestly an extremely tough fight to call. I do not know who's going to win this fight. I know Eric Yaboy Anders pushes a pace. These guys are around the same level, honestly. This is practically a coin flip, and you could almost do it for this one. Probably should. It is still up here. You know, neither one are great anymore at this point. I'm going to go with the guy who finished Chris Weidman. I'm going to pick him by round 2 KO. It's going to be that or a decision. Just not too sure on which one it would be at this point. Yeah. Not a great fight. Not one of the fights I was saying were going to be good on this card. That would be the Miktabek fight. The fights I think so far that are going to be good. Miktabek, Balajiaki, this women's fight. Maybe this fight. I think this fight could be boring, though. Anyway, so let's move on to Bruno Silva versus Charles Johnson. I think I'm going to be picking it's either Charles Johnson by round 3 KO or it's Bruno Silva by submission or TKO. Since I see more ways to win for Bruno Silva, I think I'm going to pick him, but after the last performance from an extremely small individual at flyweight, like a 5'4" flyweight, I fear picking them. So I think I'm going to actually switch my pick to a round 3 Charles Johnson KO, even though in his last fight, oh man, he just didn't look ready. Silva, round 2 submission. I think this is going to be a submission heavy card. Yeah, Charles Johnson just doesn't seem in the game anymore. And at least Brazilians always seem to be kind of hungry, at least in the first round especially. Next we move to the heavyweight division. We have Steven Asplund versus Vitor Petrino. This is the modern day, from back in the day, Todd Duffy versus Mike Russo. If you know, you know. Showing my age here. You've got extremely ripped and roided out heavyweight versus what every man aspires to be in Steve Asplund. Because this is peak male performance. If you've seen this man's body, you would know. He used to be 500 pounds, and it wasn't muscle. It still isn't. But he lost practically half of it. And I'm going to be picking Steven Asplund via round 2 KO. Steve Asplund pushes the pace, and unless his ground game is really, really bad, which it could be, he is a heavyweight. I don't see Vitor Petrino getting him down and controlling him super easy. Vitor Petrino's takedown attempts aren't the best. I see Asplund using his jab from range, his striking at range to hopefully poke and prod. You know, long strikes. We're using jab, straights, teeps, smashing some calf kicks here and there. Making sure we're staying out of range and smacking up Petrino on the edge. I've got, like I said, Steve Asplund by round 2 KO. I think Steven Asplund is the Jacoby of this division. Just maybe not with the same striking level. And he is hittable. Vitor Petrino could knock him out as well. Yeah, I've got Steve Asplund, KO round 2. That should be a very exciting fight. Steve Asplund, one of my favorite fighters. Although I do make fun of his body type, he's awesome. He has great cardio for his body type. He will fool you completely if you look at him and think that he's not going to be there all 3 rounds potentially. Moving on to, and like I said, that is the modern day Mike Russo versus Todd Duffy. You just have this roided out. Here, I'll even pull it up, honestly. Mike Russo versus Todd Duffy. See, this is what I'm talking about. Look at the shape. Look at the state of this man. Look at the state of this man. And then you've got Todd Duffy, this like roided out monster, looking great. And then here's the end of the fight. After getting dominated for 3 rounds, Mike Russo lands 1 shot. And then lands the smallest little ground and pound shot at the end. He literally hit him like that. And then this was the very end of the fight. Here was his little hammer punch. Anyways, off on that tangent. Marwan Rahiki. Freaky Rahiki versus Harry Hardwick. Guys, the Hardwick stunt it's not over. But Freaky Rahiki is he is a striker fighter through and through. He's fun to watch. This is going to be a fun fight to watch. Hardwick comes to bring it. He does push forward most of the fight unless he's getting calf kicked really bad and just immediately out of it. But I'm going to be picking Freaky Rahiki by round 2 TKO. Maybe even round 3. Hardwick is kind of tough. I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to take it to round 3 TKO. I do think Freaky Rahiki is just the better of the 2 strikers. If it does get in close, look for Harry Hardwick to land a lot of body shot hooks and then come up top with some hooks. It's a style he really likes. But I'm going to be picking Marwan Rahiki by round 3 TKO. Moving on to Andre Touchy-Feely versus Jose Delgado. I think this is a smash match. I think that Delgado he's going to get jabbed early. Everyone does against Andre Feely, but he is going to immediately crush Andre Feely right after. Knees to the body are going to be a problem for Feely. The range and power and pace of Jose Delgado are all going to be a problem. I'm picking Jose Delgado by round 1 KO. I think he's going to come out and just, after that loss especially, which was a very close fight, to Nathaniel Wood, who is a great fighter, I think. I've got Jose Delgado by round 1 KO. I think he's going to hurt him with a right hand and finish him off. Moving on to a fight that UFC posted as one of the most exciting fights of the weekend, and I beg to differ. I think this is going to be a unanimous decision victory for either guy. I could see the grappling of Ion Cutelaba being a problem for Paris's Umar Sy. Iwan losing to Modestas Bukauskas, though, being a little bit of a problem, in my opinion, especially with how much they want to push Umar Sy. I'm going to pick Ion Cutelaba by decision. I think it's a solid underdog pick. He beats some guys that he shouldn't. He beats... When he fights smart, he wins. But that's the problem. He isn't always the smartest fighter. Even losing to Bukauskas, which was a very close fight, I thought. Man. I could see him using the grappling to get it done, but I'm going to pick Umar Sy to win the decision. I do think the UFC favors him. I think if it goes to decision, and it was slightly... if it was close, the round's going to edge to Umar Sy. Oh boy, we're in the co-main event, and I got rid of my coin, huh? Let's see. Alright, we go with the favorite again, huh? We're going with, I'm tentative here, man. I actually think Lemos has a solid chance, but I'm going to pick Jillian Robertson to win by decision, maybe? I guess decision. Yeah. The coin picked her, so there we go. I can see it happening, though, to be fair. And then we move to the main event of the evening. We've got Kevin Vallejos versus Josh Emmett. This is going to be a good fight. It's not as spread apart as this. Like, not unless Josh Emmett fell off a cliff from the Elia performance, because he was landing on Elia, just not a lot. I'm going to pick Kevin Vallejos to finish Josh Emmett. Although that might be a mistake. By KO. We'll see. We will see. I'm picking Kevin Vallejos by round 2 KO. I think that the boxing's just way too much. Calf kicks, boxing, it's just going to be too much for Josh Emmett. The footwork's nice. Everything Vallejos does is just very good. I could see Josh Emmett KOing him, though. I mean, Josh Emmett can literally KO anyone on the planet if he lands a big, meaty hook or overhand. So, here are going to be my picks for the card. I've got Kevin Vallejos by round 2 KO. Jillian Robertson by decision. I've got Umar Sy by decision. I've got Jose Delgado by KO round 1. Freaky Rahiki by KO round 3. Steve Asplund by KO round 2 with an underdog pick. Hey, I think it might be one of my few underdogs on the card. Bruno Silva by submission, another underdog on the card, 2 in a row. Then I've got Eric Anders and near even by round 2 KO. Oral by decision. We've got Manuel Souza by KO round 1. Luan Lacerda by sub round 2. Good underdog pick, I think. Bia Mesquita by round 1 sub. And then Elijah Smith by decision. And finally, we have Rodriguez by decision. These are going to be my picks. I just saved it. So that is how you will see when we come down here to the Hallman We're Going to Have a Day group. You'll see 14 picks for me, Pac-Man 77, MMA Joey 69, Jams Bonk, and Nick Alexander. If you want to compete for $100 on every single numbered event, all you have to do is join my Tapology group. It's completely free. Create an account on Tapology. Type in tapology.com/groups/2048. Press enter. It'll show you my group. Press join. I will accept the invite. And then all you have to do is make your fight picks each week that there's a numbered event. You don't even have to do it every week. If you want to do it every week, that's fine. But just for the numbered events, and you have a chance to win $100 directly from me, just have a Cash App account. Send it to me in this area right here once you've won, and I will get that money to you as quickly as possible. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you need to do. Help my Al Gore rhythm. Help me and Al Gore's rhythm, get to the masses. We're breaking massive fights here. I mean, obviously. I'm just kidding. Anyways, guys, have a great day. And enjoy the fights this weekend. I'll be live with a fight companion. If you guys want to tune in, feel free, jump in, say hello. That's it. Have a great day, guys. Bye.